So with TLC, you've had some experiences. So what state experiences did you have while in 4-H?
Yeah, so crazy. Going in the county level and getting more and more involved in 4-H, it always blew my mind. 4-H is huge. The more you learn about 4-H, the bigger it gets. And so Medina County 4-H, our fair week is right during the Ohio Fair Week. So I
Oh.
thought before I got to the state level, I just thought that was Fair Week for everyone. I did not know that people have their fair weeks before and after the fair. So I was joking with people and I said, "Oh, so you don't do everything all at the same time. You're not going to Columbus, driving back for your county. You don't just have the craziest week ever." And so I learned that and I joined the state level and I actually started with leadership camp. And
Oh.
leadership camp, selected to go by my county,
Mm-hmm.
and there I met the president of the Teen Leadership Council. She was working, she was camp counselor,
Mm-hmm.
and she pulled me aside. And believe it or not, I was pretty shy back in the day. I was pretty shy. I liked to do what I did and kind of stick with that. But she pulled me aside and she said, "Hey Cecilia, I really think that you should look into TLC." And I asked her and I said, "Really?" And this is the first time ever I probably did this. And I said, "Why do you think that? Can you tell me why you think I'd be good on that? Like that's a state level. I haven't done anything like that." And so she started to recount during the camp why she thought I'd be good on TLC. And I said, "I'll look into this. I never considered that." And so it was that member, and I still remember, I still thank her to this day because she continued to remind me of opportunities. But then I joined TLC, and so I started as a council member.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would drive to. I started. I believe I was 15 because I had my what do you call it? Like your driver's permit. You have to
Yeah.
ride with a parent. So my dad, when he would have to take me to Columbus. We lived 2 hours away in Medina County,
Mm-hmm.
and he would spend the day at McDonald's working on the Wi-Fi until I was done, and he'd take me home. And they would say, "Man, we can't wait until you get your driver's license so you can drive yourself." So I remember that very vividly. But I went from council member, then became, we used to have a social media. Do you still have that committee?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I was the committee chair of that, and then I became an officer. I was treasurer, and we don't have that anymore. So I used to
Mm-hmm.
write grants, and that got embedded into
Oh.
another leadership role. And then I was vice president of outreach, and that is when just yeah, state involvement bloomed. And so found myself on state fashion board, and a couple other state opportunities. I was also a camp counselor of the state leadership
Mm-hmm.
camp, but it was TLC that really just, and as you probably know, and everyone that's been on this podcast, it's just TLC has definitely been the center of state opportunities for
Mm-hmm.
me. So I really just got super involved, loved the council, loved growing in the council, and saw my 4-H career take
Mm-hmm.
off from there.
Now with state opportunities, that opened up maybe some national opportunities. What are some of those national opportunities you had?
So yeah, okay. In that previous president of TLC, she's the one who told me about the achievement awards. I will say, being removed from Franklin County, sometimes it's a little bit hard to understand what's all in available to you at the
Mm-hmm.
state level. And so I saw on her Instagram story this crazy trip that she took to Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm watching these Instagram story videos, and I just swipe up on that story. I'm like, "Where are you? Like, what is this? This is the craziest thing I ever seen. It looks like 4-H. What is this?" And she starts telling me about the achievement awards. And so from there, I won the Leadership Achievement Award and was able to attend National 4-H Congress. And that was probably one of the coolest experience. It is truly. I think that experience was the first time National 4-H. It was like a rewards trip. Everything else is such a learning experience. You do so much at National 4-H Congress. You really just kind of get a look around the room and say, "Wow, we've accomplished a lot." You get to focus on service and have really cool opportunities, the international dinner and dance, listen to crazy keynote speakers and just really get inspired for how far you've come. And then later, I got to learn really well the design team. And
Mm.
so I thought, you know what? I think I'm gonna apply. And it was actually a quick turnaround. So you go around Thanksgiving to National 4-H Congress,
Mhm.
and then like 2 weeks later, your design team application is due. And this was the
Wow.
first time I had the experience of having a video interview. So I had to record an interview and record it in a way 5 minutes, and then submit essays and resumes
Mhm.
and reference letters. But I've never done this before, submitting a 5 minute interview. And I thought, okay, I have to answer this prompt. What do I do? And I'm a big advocate of trying to make it creative. I love trying to take it to the next level. Some people think it's pretty crazy. And in TLC, the advisors got to know that pretty quickly of like, oh, another one of Cecilia's ideas. Oh, okay, all right. But I did my video all about Where's Waldo. I said, I need a theme.
Hmm.
I need to build off of this. And so I built it off of Where's Waldo, and it was like, oh, where's Cecilia going to be next? So I got a Where's Waldo book from the library. I cut out little pictures of where I'd be, and then that's how my video jumped across the board. So I actually got selected to be on the National 4-H Congress design team, and that experience is truly amazing. You get to work with national volunteers. You meet the team in January, and then you never see them face to face again until the Congress, so that I don't know math right now, but 7 month, 9 month planning process is all virtual. And I will still say I still talk to all of my Congress design team still to this day, and we actually had a reunion. I think just last year, and welcome back all of the design team members. So it was that. National 4-H Congress is very close to my heart, but National 4-H Conference, Citizen Washington Focus. I mean, you can name a lot of other ones, and the similarities between them is I will never forget the people that I traveled with,
Yes.
the people that I got to work with, and have those experiences on the national level. And I pull up pictures during Ohio 4-H Spirit Week. It says share a
Mhm.
memory, share this, and I always go back to those photos and just look like, wow, I met these people, and I still follow up with them today. So that's been a little taste of my national experience.
That is just fantastic. And you talked about these ideas, with the advisors and everything. What was that one idea you had that, really just blew up?
So yeah, so I was gung ho. I mean, I was vice president of outreach, and a part of those responsibilities my year were, if you remember, and you can probably elaborate on this, but TLC does a really good job with trying to increase morale and create connections, because we all come from across the state. We really don't get to see each other much unless we have a meeting. And so they did a lot of family activities, is what they called them. So that was part of my role as VP of Outreach. And so just to preface my one idea, but I would come in and to tell people all about their families. I was like, no, I don't want to just tell people what family and what office they're going to group up with. I want to make an activity out of it. So I started off the year and organized this entire Harry Potter hat sorting, where you read a speech, looked through everybody's application, pulled out the coolest things, and would sort them like Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, but into TLC families. And so one of the TLC advisors, it was actually Kayla back in the day. I
Mhm.
know TLC has grown a
Mhm.
lot, but she read them off, and we had a sorting hat, and it made it like this whole elaborate thing. So that's just to start out how crazy some ideas can get, and the things that I like to push for in TLC. But in the beginning of the year, when you join the officer team, you get to go on this retreat, and you get to brainstorm all these ideas. The advisors run these coolest brainstorming activities to really get your gears going. And I said, you know what? I think TLC needs to start a statewide program. All right, like we gotta do this. Oh, it's leap year. It happened to be leap year. It was 2019 to 2020. I said it's leap year in 2020. We're gonna call it Take the Leap. It's gonna have this big one-day event. It's gonna be completely funded. All this stuff. And I learned later that one of the TLC advisors, it was Hannah Epley, so
Mhm.
again, moving up in the
Mhm.
chain and no longer an advisor to this day, but she told me later, she goes, yeah, Cecilia, when you said that stuff, we all just nodded and we're like, okay, yep, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And she has said, but you were one of the teens that could take your ideas and turn it into a reality. And so she's like, we had to learn what you said. You meant it. Like you were gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Take the Leap. It's called Take the Leap Career Readiness Day. And my advisors, I didn't drop it, and the officer team got on board, and it was the advisors who truly helped me out. So they let me write a grant. I had ideas of all these presenters. I had connections with just in my experience of 4-H and from my home county.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to bring them in, develop the agenda, and I said, I want this to be completely free for youth because, you got to give them a path. You got to let them come to this opportunity. And I said, I want to just, 4-H has almost everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I was trying to pick a program of like, what gaps can I think in 4-H? What do I wish 4-H had? And so for me, I was just thinking like, oh, when I'm applying for colleges coming up or when I'm applying for jobs, I need a LinkedIn account. I need a professional headshot. I need business cards. And those are the things I was like, you know what? I don't have those things. I bet 4-H could help me develop those things and teach me how to, what's good and what's not good and how I could put my best steps forward to
Mm-hmm.
getting those opportunities. And so Take the Leap Career and Readiness Day, I wanted it exactly that, of a one-day program, learning all the things and having all the tools from that day that you could take the next step. You didn't need anything else to take the next step. And so that kind of all came together. So that was truly the best moment. And it was actually scheduled for Leap Day because it fell on a Saturday
Mm-hmm.
or something. But we ended up having that around February 1st. And it was good because we actually got to host it in person. About
Mm-hmm.
70 people attended, and then COVID-19
Right.
hit. But the coolest thing ever was the next VP of outreach wanted to take it on and they wanted to continue it in TLC. And so they're still hosting and organizing that program today. It shifted because 4-H makes the best better,
Mm-hmm.
but it is the coolest thing to see that program continue. I hope people benefit from it as much as I did hosting it and the attendees that came during my time. But it's that truly has been one of the coolest things I've been able to be a part of. But it's all because of the advisors. It's all because of their support and how they're able to work with youth and take that idea and let it become a reality.
Absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what this podcast was. It was an idea we had at the
Yeah,
beginning of the year, and they just were
yeah.
like, "Here you go. We're gonna give you the support that you need to continue." Now, you did win an award for the Take the Leap. What was that
Yes.
award?
So that actually was, and then that's why I said, the more you learn in 4-H, the bigger it gets.
Mm-hmm.
So from that experience, all the TLC advisors reached back out to me and they said, hey, Cecilia, we actually go to a conference for educators,
Mm-hmm.
youth development professionals. We want to take this program, apply for an award, but we also want to present it and tell other states to adapt it into their curriculum.
Oh.
So I gotta go. They went in person, and I got a call on virtually because again it was around COVID time, 2021 in the fall,
Right.
and so I actually got to go on this workshop, kind of like this, like Ohio 4-H conference.
Yeah.
We got to host our own workshop and present it to all the other state professionals that came and said, this program really works. And say implement it in your states. Let us know what we can do. Here's all the materials to implement this program into your state. And then the Greg Yost Memorial Award, Leadership Award,
Mm-hmm.
was actually, if you read the description, it's actually an award that recognizes youth and an adult partnership. And that's
Oh.
exactly what this event was.
Mm-hmm.
It was youth from TLC putting on this event, and the advisors, it wouldn't have happened with all the advisor support. So it was truly a youth and adult partnership to make that program happen. And that's how we won the award that year during that conference.
That is
So,
fantastic.
yeah, and it came with funding. We won funding for that award, the whole conference recognition. So it was pretty cool, and I didn't know that conference existed. So it was a new experience for me, and I was very grateful to be included
Hmm.
in on that. And I think that they still showcase with how we won that award. They wanted to take me to that conference and help have me present the ideas as well.
Wow, that is
So
such a fantastic story about that, how you just took that one idea and how it blew up and you won this amazing award for it with
oh yeah,
your
thank you. Yeah,
collaboration.
yeah, definitely. TLC is quite the place to be.
So you talked a lot about this kind of stuff in your keynote today as the luncheon speaker for the youth luncheon. What was that feeling like? Coming from TLC and now getting to speak at this conference that you had attended yourself.
Yeah, I think I was shocked when I got that email. It was more so I've been out for 5 years, and when I got the email, I was like, oh, they still remember me. That's crazy. It's been so long, but I think it truly gets better and better. I think when you're a member, at least for me, I was always looking until my last year. Oh, I got to do all of this before I age out, before I graduate. But I did not make the connection on, 4-H continues. Yeah, you switch from membership to advisor and to a volunteer, but I have not been shorted any opportunities. And so getting that email, it was the most humbling and honoring experience. And I remember being at conference and hearing the keynote speakers when I attended these. And I just thought, man, I hope I do as good as they did, because I took so much away from their delivery and their speech, and that's just what I wanted to do. So you guys had the theme of it's sweet to be in 4-H, and my goal, I wanted to match the theme, go along with this conference, really embody what you guys are doing today, and just try to add my 2 cents into that. So I hope people took away from it. I had a good time, but I really, I think, I just draw from my experiences, but I think everybody has their own journey in 4-H, and just recognizing that and saying, it may not look like mine, but 4-H, I mean, it's a beautiful organization that will take you to endless success in the future.
Absolutely, and your keynote was absolutely fantastic today. And I know so many youth are going to take, moments away from that and really get to reflect on their time in
Yeah,
4-H
maybe
and
break
from what you
out the
said.
Candyland game that
Oh,
they forgot
absolutely.
about.
That
Yeah.
that was fantastic how you added the Candyland theme to your presentation. It popped up on the screen and I was like, she even applied our theme of the luncheon. Like it,
Yeah.
it, it really was fantastic, and I can't wait to see how youth applied what they learned from your speech today and apply it to their 4-H
I
careers.
appreciate that. That's very
Absolutely.
kind of you to say.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for this interview today. It was great talking to you.
Yes, I commend you, this podcast. I still follow TLC on Instagram. I'm the audience member who loves seeing how much TLC has grown. So I've caught wind on this. I could have never guessed being a guest on the podcast, but I can't thank you enough for this experience, and can't wait to watch all the future episodes. It's been amazing to see you guys flourish.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Check out our channel for more episodes coming in the future.